Last year we had to move from our house. This year it seems like we'll all be killed.
Don't say such a thing. Oh, my little one.
It seems like the river has entered the village.
Oh, God. I don't know what's happening.
Huh? Listen. The river seems to have swollen. Come on, let's run, quick.
Oh, God.
Come, quick.
The terrible river has destroyed everything.
Oh dear, that little girl has become an orphan.
Yes, nobody else was found. She was found lying on the bank of the river. Is this the first time such a thing has happened? Has it not happened before? And will crying now help solve the problem? Do we really have a future?
Hit her!
Poor thing. What could have happened to her?
Can't you see that she's mad? Hit her!
Shut up! Don't laugh at another person's sorrow.
Such a cruel person.
That's right. You don't know what's really happened.
Compassionate and wise man. It seems that all the disabled people in the village should be rounded up and brought to your house.
What did you say?
Hey, forget it!
We're getting late.
Come,
Stop
let's
arguing
go.
and let's go.
Sit down. If you have any questions to ask, go ahead. Otherwise, I will start a new lesson. What were you going to ask, Hari?
These floods give us great trouble every year. Is there no way to stop them?
That's a good boy. You have asked a good question. This is not only a problem for our village, it's a major problem for the entire country as well.
Floods are a serious cause for concern. They are caused by all rivers, streams and rivulets that rush down the steep slopes of Nepal's mountains, hills and gorges. The floodwaters wash away 240 million cubic meters of soil every year, eroding thousands of hectares of the country's arable land. Standing crops, cattle, and even people are swept away by the floods.
This is why floods are a big problem.
Is there really no way to stop the floods?
There are ways, but since it's such a difficult task, why don't we visit the district irrigation office to acquire information on flood control? First, I will tell you something about the geographical terrain of this country.
83% of Nepal's total landmass, extending 885 kilometers east to west, is covered by high and medium mountain ranges. The fertile plains of the Tarai make up only 17% of the landmass. Sloping downwards from north to south, this landmass contains over 6,000 rivers, big and small. The Himalayas to the north, as well as the monsoon rains, are the sources of these rivers and streams. These rivers gush down the mountain slopes in a torrent. During the monsoon, they are especially unpredictable. But in winter, most medium and small rivers dry up to a mere trickle. Rivers flowing in the Tarai do not look as menacing, but looks can be deceptive. During the monsoon, they too cut severely into farmlands and settlements, overflowing their banks, inundating fertile lands. In winter, they are reduced to sandy wastelands.
So what are the main reasons that are causing these floods?
There are many reasons. For instance, orthodox methods.
Countless people in rural areas still take pride in large families, in the belief that they bring about prosperity. This growing population means growing expectations and needs. Resources to meet even the basic requirements, however, are ever diminishing. In search of a living, these teeming masses cut down forests and clear shrub lands. The result, entire hillsides are denuded. Even climatic conditions may change. Without roots to hold the soil, hills are eroded away in the torrent. Entire ridges disintegrate. The mass of soil and sand swept down from the hills accumulates along riverbeds as they flow through the southern plains. This invariably causes rivers to change course and to break their banks. River-induced disasters are not caused by gushing waters alone. The loss we suffer has much to do with our ignorance and lack of awareness towards the need to conserve nature. As we continue to suffer river-induced disasters, they are made only worse by the lack of adequate technology, resources, and skills to control floods and rivers.
Do you now understand?
What can we do to save ourselves from floods?
There are ways for this also.
Some of the most important steps towards watershed conservation are afforestation along bare slopes that are prone to river erosion during the monsoon, the conservation of forests and the protection of newly planted saplings in wooden enclosures and bamboo baskets so that they may get a hold on the soil. The flow of water can be restrained by building embankments, while spur dikes should be built to control the course of rivers. Riverbanks can be reinforced by piling gabions, boulders, and sandbags to the flood level of the river in a process that is known as revetment. However, restraining the flow of rivers alone is not sufficient. To prevent the loss of lives in the event of a flood, flood information centers need to be set up to forecast floods and to evacuate settlements. These activities require technical skill and resources. In the event of a sudden flood, emergency use of wire mesh are considered very important in controlling rivers temporarily.
Can you tell us something about the wire netting and the netting machine?
River control is an extremely difficult task. Realizing that internal resources would not be sufficient for river control, His Majesty's government has mobilized international cooperation. With the assistance of the government of Japan, the Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA and the Ministry of Water Resources had set up the Water-Induced Disaster Prevention Technical Center, the DPTC. Since 1988, the government of Japan has been providing gabion wire as grant to Nepal for river control. Besides wire, trucks to transport boulders, truck cranes and netting machines have been made available to His Majesty's government and are based in all the 5 development regions. Skilled workers can work with their hands to make wire netting, but this has always proved a slow process when having to respond to sudden floods. With the setting up of netting machines, strong wire nets can be efficiently produced in large volumes and can be made immediately available during times of urgent need. The use of gabions, that is blocks of boulders contained in meshed wire netting along river banks, is one of the most effective ways for river control. Wire used in the net must be 3.2 or 4 millimeters thick. In order to prevent boulders from loosening on impact with strong river currents, the size of the mesh must be determined beforehand, in relation to the size and shape of the boulders to be used. Cylinder-type gabion is more suited for use in sloping banks. If the boulders of the required size are not found in abundance, smaller boulders can be used to fill the inner portion of the gabions. A hydraulic laboratory has been set up in Godavari with the assistance of the government of Japan, where river control technologies best suited to local conditions will be developed. Training courses are being conducted for Nepalese technical staff who are responsible for disaster prevention works such as soil conservation, landslide prevention, river training, and other aspects.
So that means we can ask for wire netting from the government to save our houses and land.
We have decided to inform the DIO that we have been suffering from floods every year and that we wish to seek help to prevent the floods.
So that has been decided. The four of you please get ready to go with me to the DIO. Greetings. We are here to pour our grievances to the government.
How can I help you? Please sit down.
We've lost everything, sir.
What's the matter? Is it the floods?
Yes, all that we have is destroyed every year.
The DIO is always at your service. But your application alone does not tell us the extent of the damage.
Floods have swept away all our houses and land. What else is there to know?
Villagers would like all areas to be protected from erosion. Their application forms requesting help do not always show the full extent of damage. In order to identify projects and to extend help, technical teams are dispatched from the district office to conduct surveys. Following these surveys and with the coordination of district committees, projects are identified on a priority basis through discussions at the district, regional or central levels as necessary. In order to prevent further damage in affected areas, concerned villages are informed about the assistance available. The government cannot meet all the requirements. Usually, wire netting, trucks to transport boulders, fuel, and technical advice for river control are made available by the government. But works relating to the actual construction, such as digging foundations, piling boulders, filling wire netting for gabions, spur dikes, revetments, and embankments, must be carried out through contribution of labor by the communities concerned. As the government has to carry out many projects all over the country every year, and as projects without public participation tend not to be sustainable, the public is informed about government policies which call for public participation in the construction as well as repairs and maintenance of all such works.
Yes, sir. We are prepared to provide any kind of labor. Isn't that so, friends? Please say so to the officer.
Yes, we have to do that.
After all, it's for our own benefit and we shall do it. Right, sir. We shall go back to the village and get the labor force ready. Goodbye for now. Greetings.
Greetings. Please take a seat. How do you do, Mr. Chairman? I hear your village is undertaking voluntary labor. How far is the work done?
How far? There are no boulders at the site. The villagers are using carts to hold boulders from 6 kilometers away. And in the past month, hardly 5 gabions have been filled. We were hoping for the truck and fuel you had promised, but it has not yet arrived yet. Many areas suffer similar problems. This office has to handle both irrigation and flood control. The few trucks and truck cranes stationed at the regional level must be dispatched to all those places. And this is being managed by sending the equipment turn by turn. In the meantime, while waiting for the equipment, boulders can be piled by all of you wherever they are available. You can also start filling sandbags which can be used as a substitute to fill wire meshes to control the erosion work. Okay, I'll leave now, but I hope the truck arrives soon. We have undertaken to collect boulders and transport them, dig the foundations and fill gabions, and maintain revetments and spurs. Do you agree to these conditions? If you do not agree, I am in no position to seek help elsewhere. Let the village be swept away if it will.
That is correct. We should try to persuade those who don't agree, shouldn't we?
We are all ready.
Otherwise, you may all suffer like this poor woman.
The poor woman once had such a happy life.
The river is swollen and approaching the house. You people seem so unconcerned. All you villagers would have been better off if the river was controlled in time.
What you say is right, but what can be done? I alone cannot block the river. The other villagers seem indifferent.
Nothing can be expected from these old men. When you grow up, do become an engineer and save the villagers from the troubles caused by the floods. Okay, my son? Oh, you're so good. I love you.
कसैले सन्तान गुमायो हेर गाउँलेको सर्वस्व हरायो बाढी आयो बाढी आयो
Ush. Look, this man has been sitting outside all day long. He hasn't even made the fire. I have been looking for wood whole day. Let's see what he'll have for supper.
This woman doesn't understand a thing. She just gets crazy for nothing.
Oh, you know everything. What's there to understand?
They say dams are to be built in areas swept away by the floods. Villagers are supposed to contribute labor. That's why these things have been collected. They are not available when you need them.
You don't have to go anywhere. Just go to the jungle and get some woods for the monsoon. All the other villages are in the river. They'll never know. Listen, I hear that wire netting is to be brought here. You'd better go and get some for our garden too. The chickens and goats are eating all our vegetables. I can't take anymore. I'll go and stay with my parents.
Yeah, you and your ideas. You tell me to cut down trees and steal wires. You'll be going to jail and not to your parents. Get the baskets ready. We are going off to collect boulders. Let's go, come on.
Gampe's house will have the nets. And look at you. You good for nothing, old fella.
All villagers, please come to contribute labor.
एक्लै हुन्न सबै नै जुटौं एक्लै हुन्न सबै नै जुटौं पाखुरीको शक्ति मिलाऊ पाखुरीको शक्ति मिलाऊ नदी खोला नियन्त्रण गरी हरियाली बाली जोगाऊ हरियाली बस्ती बसाऊ हरियाली बाली जोगाऊ हरियाली बस्ती बसाऊ बग्न नदिऊ हाम्रो माटो बग्न नदिऊ हाम्रो माटो फाड्न नदिऊ हाम्रो जंगल फाड्न नदिऊ हाम्रो जंगल सबैको मतो र बलबुताले आपद विपदलाई भगाऊ सुन्दर स्वस्थ जीवन बिताऊ आपद विपद
Our village will now be safe, won't it? Now we won't have anything to worry about, will we?
No. The conservation of watershed areas requires further efforts. Revetments and spur dikes built to control rivers may be swept away by floods and landslides that are stronger than what was expected earlier. Gabions too undergo some degree of damage in every flood. In any case, the wire netting may last even 15 to 20 years, after which they rust and disintegrate. All structures must be repaired and maintained every year. Trees must be planted and nursed in areas surrounding embankments and spur dikes. To prevent landslides and floods, forests near settlements must also be conserved. Bare land must be planted with trees. Unless there is first an awareness at the public level to address one's own responsibilities, all initiatives from the government level will prove futile. And all that will remain is pain and suffering in the wake of recurring disasters.
We understand everything, sir.
So you say you've understood. What do you intend to do now? The engineer is also a busy man. Well, sir, thank you very much. We shall now take our leave.
An engineer's job is so difficult.
So you say you've understood. What do you intend to do now?
Despite all odds, we must do everything for ourselves to secure our own future right now, because nothing can be done afterwards.
And do you understand what needs to be done?
We must first save our village from floods and landslides.
How?
We must plant trees in areas surrounding the village and along the banks of rivers.
Is that it? Just plant trees? One must also conserve the forest.
That's not all. River embankments must also be maintained. Let us make this an extracurricular activity so we can also help.
What would you all say to that?
रोपौं रोपौं रुखहरू रोपौं 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 रुखहरू रोपौं बाढी पहिरोहरू रोकौं बाढी पहिरोहरू रोकौं अज्ञानताको अँधेरोलाई ज्ञानको बत्तीले हटाऊं शिक्षाको ज्योति जगमगाऊं चेतना को लहर फैलाऊं चेतना को लहर फैलाऊं चेतना को लहर फैलाऊं चेतना को लहर फैलाऊं.
Hey, look, mad woman.
Mother, we won't let anyone else in this village suffer your fate.
Mother? My son, oh, my son, I love you. Everybody called me mad, but this boy called me mother. Is this really my son? No. But he's doing what I expected from my son. These are all my sons and daughters.
Yes, Mother. I'll be an engineer and save this village and country from floods.
Yes, Mother. We will spread the word and create awareness.